Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen from Player Attack. We are here at E3 2012 in the Warner Brothers booth. We're checking out Guardians of Middle-earth, which is a new MOBA game. What is a MOBA game for those of us playing at home and living under a rock and not being up with the acronyms?
It's kind of a new-ish genre. It stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, and it's basically a team-based kind of capture the flag, get to their fortress and destroy it kind of game. So it's very strategic. The map is symmetrical, so each team kind of has an even playing field, and it's all about working together as a team, fighting our way into their base.
I should also mention this is Ruth from Monolith, who is one of the developers on the game. And people might know Monolith from not so much the MOBA type games. They might know you from Fear, might know you from Batman Gotham City Imposters that came out last year. So this is something a little bit different again. Where did that concept come from?
Well, the concept started as a very small team. They were looking at ways to have new competitive games on the console. Gotham City Imposters was a little bit of an experiment for us. It was XBLA, PSN, a very competitive focused team game. And so we wanted to know, what other games like that could we do? So we had a very small team working on a MOBA, and it ended up being really great, so we put a larger team on it.
And the Lord of the Rings inspiration behind it, rather than just going for a new world, you've jumped into one of the most major franchises in entertainment history. How's that been?
Well, with the Hobbit film coming up, we think that people are excited to see more of these heroes. So we've been able to draw heroes not only from Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, but also from deeper in the lore. So we really just looked at all of the Middle-earth lore and tried to find heroes that would be really interesting to play. Ones that their personality kind of indicated what their abilities would be. And we think that players will really enjoy playing as those characters in this competitive environment.
Are they giant spiders?
There might be giant spiders. We're only announcing 10 characters currently at E3.
Okay. Which 10 characters are you announcing?
We've got a good team and an evil team of 5 because the game's 5v5. So on the good team we've got Gandalf and Gladriel and Thrain, who's Thorin Oakenshield's father. We've also got, if I can remember.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's fine. Legolas, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. And then Hildefons, who's a hobbit, he's Bilbo's uncle. And in the books it says that he went away on an adventure and never came back. So we decided we'd kind of show what happened to him. And on the evil side, we've got Sauron, of course, who's like giant, massive club, We've got the Witch King, who's more about crowd control and fear. Gollum, who's, very sneaky, comes in, strikes hard and fast, and exits. And then we've got Ugluk and Gothmog, who are an Uruk-hai and an Orc, who are both very powerful, lots of big attacks.
Sounding like the bad guys are all pretty massive and scary, except for Gollum, obviously.
There's a variety of both, Sauron's pretty big. He makes up for the rest.
How does the balancing work with something like that when you have such massive, powerful enemies versus, hobbits?
Well, there's a lot of different things that they can do. So, there's always survivability, who can get away and survive the easiest. Hildefons is sort of a new class that we're looking at called the Tactician, who he's more about lane control. So the map has 3 lanes that you're trying to drive down to the enemy base. Hildefons is very good at controlling a lane, using his area of effect fire abilities, and preventing enemy guardians from coming down that lane. So even though he's not super powerful, one-on-one against Sauron, he still has a lot of utility to help his team out.
So you're saying that the MOBA genre is relatively young at this point, but there are still a couple of names that people might recognize. We hear that the League of Legends crew actually came down and checked you out, and we're like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think they're happy to see that someone's developing, console controls that work well for a MOBA, and I think that because the genre is kind of young, we're going to see a lot of new developments with it. I think there's still a lot to do. I mean, Awesome Knots and Monday Night Combat are both, MOBA style games on the console. I think we're the first true isometric MOBA, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see more of this kind of game in the future because it's actually a really good fit on the console.
There have been people who have sort of gone, but then once they see the gameplay and see how it works, they'll go, actually, not so bad.
Yeah. Well, so the PC MOBAs really came out of the RTS genre, and so the controls are very much about clicking, telling your character where to move and what to attack, but kind of remotely. With the console controls, it's much more direct control of the character. So I think people realize that, that console controller does work really well when you're directly controlling the character instead of sort of controlling their, orders for them. So it's a little bit of a different approach, but we think that it really works well for that control.
And it's looking really great. And it looks really playable. We've seen every time we've walked past, it's been packed and everyone's just been need to play game. What's the response been like from the people on the floor?
It's been amazing. Our line has been our line's been an hour or two long the entire show. which, I feel a little bad for the people waiting that long, but they seem to be having a great time. They're applauding the teams that win and having a great time. So, it's always funny when you work on a game for a while and, you see it all buggy and it's not, working there. And then you come to E3 and it's like a real game and people are having fun playing it. That's an awesome feeling.
Do we have a release window for this one at this point?
Yeah, this fall, and it'll be on XBLA and PSN.
There you go. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.